Hi everyone, I am Dr.V.VIJI, Associate Professor of Economics, A.D.M.COLLEGE, NAGAPATTINam. Today we will see classical and Say's law of employment, concepts of the theory. The classical theory of employment based on include Say's law, determinants of output and employment, labor market equilibrium, wage price flexibility, goods market equilibrium, money market equilibrium, classical model, summary, and Keynesian criticism. These are all the content of this concept. Now let us see the introduction of this theory. Classical theory of employment is contribution of various classical and neoclassical economists like Adam Smith, Ricardo, J.D. Say, Karl Marx, Marshall, A.C. Figu, etc. Classical theory of employment is based on Say's law of market and on the assumption of flexibility of wages, rate of interest, and prices. According to Say's law of market, supply creates its own demand. Each and every demand, it is based on the supply of the product. Now we have to see the classical theory of employment. The classical theory of employment, it have the classical economists believe in the existence of full employment in the economy. Employment was a normal situation and any deviation from this regard as something abnormal according to Figu. The tendency of the economic system is to automatically provide full employment in the global market when the demand and supply of labor are equal. Unemployment results from the rigidity in the wage, structure and interference in the working of free market system in the form of trade union legislation at a minimum level. This theory is based on some important assumptions. The classical theory of output and employment is based on the following assumptions. There is the existence of full employment without inflation. There is a laissez-faire capitalist economy without government interference. It is a closed economy without foreign trade. There is perfect competition in labor and product markets. Here the labor is homogeneity characters. Total output of the economy is divided between consumption and investment expenditures. The quantity of money is given and money is only the medium of exchange. Wages and prices are perfectly flexible. There is perfect information on the part of all market participants. Money wage and real wage are directly related and proportional. Savings are automatically invested and equally between the two is brought about by the rate of interest. Capital stock and technical knowledge are given. So it have given or constant techniques is based. The law of diminishing returns operates in production. It assumes at long run. Here we have to see the Say's law of market. Say's law of markets is the core of classical theory of employment. A famous French economist, J.D. Say, enunciated the formal statement that supply creates its own demand. This is the basic principle of Say's law. It implies that the supply of goods generates sufficient income to create demand for goods equal its supply. Therefore, there is no possibility of overproduction and unemployment in the economy. Even if there is some unemployment in the short run, the economy automatically tends towards full employment in the long run. Proposition of the law. Here the theory it is based on full employment, proper utilization of resources. Each and every resources are properly used by the people of the economy. Then, based on the principles of perfect competition, market structure, and the one more important proposition is laissez-faire policy. Here, there is no intervention of government, and saving as a social virtue. Saving is an important role to create the investment in the economy. Full employment in the economy, the law is based on the proposition that there is full employment in the economy. Proper utilization of resources. If there is full employment in the economy, ideal resources will be properly utilized, which will further help to produce more and also generates more income to each and every citizen of the economy. Then perfect competition. Say's law of market is based on the proposition of perfect competition in labor and product markets. Here the labor is properly utilized at the normal level of the economy. Production process. Laissez-faire policy. The law assumes a closed capitalist economy which follows the policy of laissez-faire. The policy of laissez-faire is essential for an automatic and self-adjustment process of full employment equilibrium. Here there is no more government intervention in the entire economy. Saving as a social virtue. All factor income is spent in buying goods which they help to produce. Whatever is saved is automatically invested for further production. In other words, saving is a social virtue. Here we have to see some drawbacks or limitations of Say's law. Supply does not create its demand. Self-adjustment not possible. Money is not neutral. Overproduction is possible. In that situation, automatically it will create the unemployment level in the economy. Underemployment situation, state intervention, equality through income, wage cut, no solution. Demand creates its own supply. Supply does not create its demand. Say's law assumes that production creates market for goods. Self-adjustment not possible. According to Say's law, full employment is maintained by an automatic and self-adjustment mechanism in the long run. It is not suitable in short run. Money is not neutral. Say's law of market is based on a barter system and ignores the role of money in the system. In any economy, money is not neutral in any time. Overproduction is possible. Say's law is based on the proportion that supply creates its demand, and there cannot be general overproduction. If any overproduction or stock is maintained, automatically it will create some unemployment. Underemployment situation. Keynes regards full employment as a special case because he explains how to maintain underemployment, how to affect the full employment. Underemployment in capitalistic economy. So the underemployment situation is only possible in capitalistic economy. State intervention. Say's law is based on the existence of laissez-faire policy. Sometimes in socialistic economy or mixed economy, they need state intervention. It is the must. In that situation, this theory is not suitable. Equality through income. Keynes does not agree with the classical view that the equality between the income and savings. Savings and investment is brought about through the mechanism of interest rate. Each and every investment, it is on the basis of interest rate. Wage cut, no solution. Pigou favored the policy of wage cut to solve the problem of unemployment, but Keynes opposed such a policy both from the theoretical and practical points of view. Demand creates its own supply. Say's law of market is based on the proposition that supply creates its own demand. Therefore, there cannot be general overproduction and mass unemployment. Determinant of output and employment. In the classical theory, output and employment are determined by the production function and the demand for labor and the supply of labor in the economy. Given the capital stock, technical knowledge and other factors, a persistent relation exists between total output and amount of employment. That is, number of workers. This is shown in the form of the following production function. Therefore, Q is equal to the function of K, T, N, where total output represents Q, is a function of capital stock K, technical knowledge T, and the number of workers N. Given K and T, the production function becomes Q is equal to the function of N. But after a point when more workers are employed, diminishing marginal returns of labor market equilibrium. Labor market equilibrium. In the labor market, the demand for labor and the supply of labor determine the level of output and employment. The classical economists regard the demand for labor as the function of the real wage rate. D1 is the function of wage divided by price, where D demand for labor, W is equal to wage rate and P represents price. Dividing wage rate by price level, we get the real wage rate. The demand for labor is a decreasing function of the real wage rate as shown by the downward sloping demand curve. The supply of labor also depends on the real wage rate, but it is an increasing function of the real wage rate. Both demand and supply curve intersect each other at the point of equilibrium E, which determine the level of employment and the real wage. Sometimes the demand is excess, sometimes the supply is excess. Next, we have to see wage price flexibility. The classical economists believed that there was always full employment in the economy. In case unemployment, a general cut in money wage would take the economy to the full employment level. The argument is based on the assumption that there is a direct and proportional relation between money wage and real wages. When money wages are reduced, they lead to reduction in cost of production and consequent to the lower prices of products. When prices fall, demand for products will increase and sales will be pushed up. Increased sales will necessitate the employment of more labor and ultimately full employment will be attained. According to classical, W is equal to Px MP or W bar P is equal to MP. W is money wage rate, P is the price of the product and MP is marginal productivity of labor. Goods market equilibrium. The goods market is in equilibrium when saving equals investment. According to the classicalist, what is not spent is automatically invested. Thus, saving must equal investment if there is any divergence between the two. The equality is maintained through the mechanism of the rate of interest. To them, both savings and investment are the function of the interest rate. S is the function of rate of interest, I is the function of rate of interest. Therefore, the saving it is equal to investment. Where saving investment equality is based on the rate of interest. To the classicalist, interest is a reward for saving. The higher the rate of interest, the higher the saving, and lower the investment. If at any given period, investment exceeds saving, therefore I is greater than S. The rate of interest will rise, saving will increase and investment. Therefore, I is greater than yes. Rate of interest is increased. This adjustment will happen till we reach full employment. Then we move on to money market equilibrium. Money market equilibrium in the classical theory is based on the quantity theory of money, which states that the general price level in the economy depends on the supply of money. It equals MV is equal to PT, where M represents supply of money, V represents velocity of circulation of money, P represents the price level, and T represents the volume of transaction or total output. The equation tells that the total money supply MV equals the total volume of output PT in the economy. Assuming V and T to be constant, a change in the supply of money causes a proportional changes in the price level. Thus, the price level is a function of the money supply. Therefore, P is equal to the function of money supply. If the quantity of money increases, the MV curve will shift to the right as MV curve. As a result, the price level would rise from OP to OP1, given the same level of output to OQ. This rise in the price level is exactly proportional to the rise in the quantity of money. That is, PP1 is equal to MM1. When the full employment level of output remains OQ. Complete classical model. The classical theory employment was based on the assumption of full employment, where full employment was a normal situation and any deviation from this was regarded as an abnormal situation. This was based on Say's law of market. In the classical theory, the determination of output and employment takes place in labor, goods and money markets of the economy. In the classical analysis, output and employment in the economy are determined by the aggregate production function, demand for labor and the supply of labor. As more workers are employed, diminishing marginal returns start. Labor market equilibrium. In the labor market, the demand for and supply of labor determine output and employment in the economy. You have to see the panel C figure. Goods market equilibrium. In the classical analysis, the goods market is in equilibrium when saving and investment are in equilibrium. Yes. This equality is brought about by the mechanism of interest rate at the full employment level of output. Money market equilibrium. The money market equilibrium is in equilibrium when the demand for money equals the supply of money. Thus, the classicalists favored a flexible price-wage policy to maintain full employment. Then, Keynes criticized the classical theory. First one is underemployment equilibrium, reputation of Say's law, self-adjustment not possible, equality of saving and investment through income, importance of speculative demand for money, rejection of quantity theory of money, money not neutral, reputation of wage cut, no direct and proportionate relation between rent, state intervention essential, long run analysis are unrealistic. Now we have to see the one by one explanations. First one is underemployment equilibrium. Keynes rejected the fundamental classical assumption of full employment. In the economy, he considered it as unrealistic. He regarded full employment as a special situation. The general situation in a capitalistic economy is one of underemployment equilibrium. Reputation of Say's law. Keynes refuted Say's law of markets. The supply always creates its own demand. Self-adjustment not possible. Keynes did not agree with the classical view that the laissez-faire policy was essential for an automatic and self-adjusting process of full employment equilibrium. Equality of savings and investment through income changes. The classicalists believed that saving and investment were equal at the full employment level, and in case of any divergence, the equality was brought about by the mechanism of rate of interest. Importance of speculative demand for money. The classical economists believed that money was demanded for transaction and precautionary purposes. It is not speculative motive. Rejection of quantity theory of money. Keynes rejected the classical quantity theory of money of the ground that increase in money supply will not increasingly lead to rise in prices. Money not neutral. The classical economists regarded money as neutral. Therefore, they exclude output and employment, and the equilibrium rate of interest were determined by real forces. Money is not neutral always. It will, in a dynamic economy, the money is changed according to the gross domestic products of the economy. Refutation of wage cut. Keynes refuted the Pigouvian formulation that a cut in money wage could achieve full employment in the economy. It is not suitable in socialistic economy and capitalistic economy, whatever example of it is not suitable in mixed economy. No direct and proportionate relation between money and real wages. Keynes also didn't accept the classical view that there was a direct and proportionate relationship between money wage and the real wages. State intervention essential. Keynes didn't agree with Pigou that frictional maladjustments alone account for failure to utilize fully our productive power. The state intervention is more necessary, or it is one of the must feature in whatever the economic system. Long run analysis unrealistic. The classicalists believed in the long run full employment equilibrium through a self-adjustment. So we couldn't maintain full employment in any time. Automatically the economy fall under employment equilibrium or unemployment nature. Thank you.